I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. It's where I talk about twin flame process. These videos are going to be short videos just with a few cards for each sign for the month of December. I just wanted to do an intro. Just first of all say that you can contact me through my website. The description box below has all the details of how to do that. So if you wanted to get a personal reading or have a session, that's how you go about doing that. And also to say that I am going to be closing for Christmas period. So I won't be doing any readings between the 20th of December and the 3rd of January. And I can't be booking people in during that period either. So if you wanted to book something for December or for January, you would get back to me by, say, the 15th of December, because then I have time to book you in before I go completely offline and distance myself from email and don't look at my email again on the 20th of December until the 3rd of January. That is this Star Soul Tarot email, which I don't want to have to look at over Christmas. All right, so I just wanted to add that in. And I'm just going to, before I start with the monthlies, I think, will it be on every video? It will be on every video, and then it has to be on every video, so that's a good thing. Good. All right, so I just want to pull like 3 cards to give an overview of the month, because we've got this great big moon coming on the 4th of December, which is, I think it's super moon, and it's eclipse, and it's in the last of the row of eclipses or something like that. It's also in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is really representative of the galactic centre and higher consciousness, but in a very structured way. It is a mental, it's a mental energy, but it's also really, it's really thorough, right? It's like, it's kind of grounded. It's a grounded mental energy. So it's higher consciousness grounded into physical form through what is through Sagittarius, what Sagittarius represents actually, and in the tarot that is the Hierophant. So, and the Hierophant is the man of book learning and teaching and all that kind of stuff. But he's also very grounded. He's not like the hermit who's in a cave, just detached from reality and people and receiving wisdom that way. He learns from books and he learns from the human structure. So it's kind of like having a new moon in Sagittarius is a bit like having just brand new energy delivered to Earth, I would say, which is available to everybody in a very structured way, in a way that everybody can understand and appreciate and access. So it's not like some kind of ethereal new beginning that you get with this moon. It's more of a kind of like, it's a very strong energy of resilient energy, of kind of like matter of fact energy, of like making things manifest through kind of like the compliance of being in a human form whilst also attached to higher self, right? So it's a very real new beginning, basically, we're going to have, like real, like full on. It's not dramatic. It's more kind of like clarity, galactic centre, right? It's more kind of like functional. How do I put it? It's more kind of like definite, right? Definite new beginnings. It's kind of like people saying things that they should have said for a long time, without any fear of saying it, from a very like human perspective, that kind of stuff. So it's a really important moon, I feel, right at the beginning of December as well. So everything from in the rest of December is kind of lead from that energy of whatever it is that comes into your life because of that. And it's also very masculine as well, so it's going to really apply to men basically, or those working from the masculine energy as well. Women, some very masculine women, that those are the people that are going to be receiving this, because it is galactic center, which means crown chakra, which means received wisdom from source, but believing it's not from source a lot of the time, believing that I've just realized, not like, oh, spirit just spoke to me, which is a different kind of understanding of receiving, right? It's more of a masculine way of receiving it. And with the masculine, it's egoic, right? So the masculine has to think that they thought it. And that's the thing about the masculine. It's like they think that they decided that or they thought that because they're working with ego. So it's very much like they're going to receive masculine energy in human form, going to receive sudden impulse from source, guidance they're going to think, oh, I've just realised I've got to do this, or say this to this person, or that kind of thing is what it's going to be. So and it'll lead on for the whole month, right? Because it's open-ended from there, because it is the final of eclipses, final. So that's it. We're done with those leading up to this, and then we move into that whatever comes from it. Let's get a few cards out. 3, maybe 4. I don't know. Let's see. Go with the flow, eh? Right. Queen of Swords, brain. This is interesting. Let me just get the others out. Okay. 6 of Pentacles, reaching out. That's making contact in the physical world. This is for twin flames. This is what's going to be. Healing. Knight of Pentacles, which is healing energy. Physical healing, but it's not about healing the physical body. It's about healing the mind. It's about being in a human body, right, and then healing the mind. What is healing the mind? It's not thinking. Setting oneself apart from one's thoughts, not attaching to thoughts. There's that saying, I think, therefore I am. No, actually, you're energetic, therefore you are. You only think when you're here. You're not always here. You're not always human. You're primarily vibration. You're primarily energy. You're guided by that vibration. That is your guide, right? So you don't think, therefore you am. The detachment from thought allows your guidance to take you where you need to go, in terms of like leading you to how to feel and how to materialize things into physical form, right? From that feeling. It's a detachment of thought. So, and that's really interesting, because when they're talking about this Hierophant, and it's a representation of Sagittarius, and it's a new moon, and it's a masculine, right? And it's a coming down from source through the crown chakra into the head, giving information to the masculine. Twin flames connected. They're connected on every level. They're connected through the physical body. Same things going on in the physical body a lot of the time. They're connected, and also because the chakras, the whole energetic system can be felt through the physical body, so that as well. They're also connected through the emotions and emotionally, and they're connected through the mind. And it's not just telepathy, but it's the fact that they operate in tandem, right? The whole function of twin flames is clearing the ego and moving into a level of higher consciousness as you exist in that in physical form. Very similar to what they're saying about everybody receiving at this new moon, right? It's the same thing, higher consciousness coming into physical form. But with twin flames, it's the feminine that creates, right? The feminine creates the impulse in the mind, right? Which is why with all the stuff that we're taught with this, is that the feminine has to clear the spectrum of the ego. So that is a functional work that you act in as you are alive, right? So it's coming into awareness of what is thought, what is harmful thought, what is beneficial thought, what are the beneficial ways of thinking, what is worry, how do I worry in my head? Is worry merely being concerned with something, Yes, it is, basically. If you're concerned with anything in a way that does not feel good through your thought, then you are in worry, right? So the feminine is guided to create a new principle inside herself of the way that she thinks, she's attached to the masculine, or she or he is attached to the masculine in the other person, in the other twin, on a mental level. The feminine clearing that through the brain clears it in the masculine as well. That's how you both come to the end of the whole story, the whole journey, the whole process, because connection through the mind has to be cleared by the feminine. So, so we got that there, right? Queen of Swords, the mind of the feminine. That's what the healing is. It's the clearing of the ego in physical form. Of course, you've got to have an ego. I'm not going to discuss like whether we should have an ego or not. It's the worry, right? And it's the fear, and it's the finding things wrong with everything in the present moment. That's what we don't want. That's what the ego is. That's when the ego is in control of your experience, right? So, and that's, you don't, it's got to be guidance that's in control. This two people coming back together after a long separation is about vibration getting them there, not the mind. Resistance in the mind. 7 of Wands, resistance. 4 of Pentacles, now moment. Clearing resistance in the now moment. How do you do that? You stop thinking. Right? You don't stop thinking. So it's what people tend to do is they go, oh yes, I know, I'm going to stop thinking, and then they immediately start thinking again about things that it's not beneficial to think about. Or they say, well, yeah, I know that, but I've got to think about this because it's really, really worrying. So let me just think about this for another 7 days because it's really worrying, and then I'm going to find something else that I can focus on and worry about. But I know I shouldn't. Right, so that's resistance, right? So letting go of the mind, now moment, clears everything. Everything hinges on the now moment. So this moon, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to let Source do its job, basically. Detach on that moon. 4 Pentacles, now moment, particularly on that moon, 4 December. Detach from the ego, 2 of Swords, manifestation, magician. I think that's it. So that's what I've got to say about this moon. Anything else? And there we've got that person reaching out. So for those of you who are focused on reunion as the reason for the twin flame experience, right, and the inevitable outcome of the twin flame experience, you'll have whatever inevitable outcome you believe in, because you're creating as you go along in your life. If you don't believe in it, well, you wouldn't have it. But you've got to, and you believe in it, you'll have it, right? So, what was I going to say? But you've got to let go of it to manifest it. Because hanging on to it and wanting it and looking at it not being there is a block to receiving it. Do you get it? There, King of Pentacles. Man-made manifest. So yes, that's what I'm going to say then about this moon. It's a time to detach from your thoughts, basically. And, maybe it's going to be a time to learn to do that for once and for all, right, on this moon. Maybe it's also going to be, what was I going to say, like automatic for some people, that it will just happen. And it will just happen. And as they said, it's the feminine, the mind, it works through the creation of what goes on in the feminine mind. It's not what you think about, it's how you think, right? And that creates the clarity. And then we've got this massive moon that is about, again, about the mind and about what comes through the mind of the masculine. So it could be a clearing point and it could bring reunion. But you're here to learn to detach from your thoughts unless you come into... unless you take on that work and you take on that responsibility and you learn to operate from a sense of no fear and no worry and not being in alignment constantly with fear and worry, then you won't bring in your own reunion, right? That's the name of the game. You bring in your own reunion by detaching from fear and worry, because it's the fear and worry in you that's the fear and the worry in the masculine. It's the same thing, because you've got connection through the mind. So if you are fearing and worrying, not only will you not come into reunion, but they will also be fearing and worrying. And you will both be fearing and worrying forever. Resistance. So you've got to stop it, and then they'll stop it, and then you have your inevitable reunion. Right. Oh, right, I'm going now. Lots of love. See you next time. Bye. These are the readings for the air signs for December 2021. We're going to start with Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, what do you need to know? Let's have a look. You've got Knight of Cups coming out. Romance, love. Hermit, wisdom. Death card, transformation. Two of Pentacles, two people. Right. How it feels, Aquarius. I do feel you are going to be engaging with somebody this month, relating to somebody. I do feel for a lot it's going to be a romantic partner. But there's some different way of doing something here, right? The Hermit is about wisdom and death is about transformation. How it feels to me, because when I started shuffling for you, when I started putting this out, they showed me like a magic, somebody putting on a magic show. It feels like maybe you are going to be kind of putting on a show for somebody, right? But what it feels like is maybe there's a different way of doing something that you've always done. It feels like maybe instead of like what they're saying is pulling out all the stops, right? So if you engage with someone, it's a romantic liaison. What happens at the beginning of romance is that generally is that people put on a show, right? And they pretend to be something they're not. And they put on their best face, and they try to come over as like obliging, really compliant and obliging, and a really lovely person, for example, right? That has got no faults, and they kind of it's called the romantic illusion, right? And both men and women, all sexes or genders, all do this, right? It's not a case of one doing it and another not doing it. Is it the best way forward, really, is what they're saying, Aquarius? Because you might be, for example, gender identity. Is that what we call it these days? You might be a man in a woman's body, or you might be a woman in a man's body. There are various, computations of what you could be, for example. So really what it's talking about is just be yourself. Just put it like that, shall we? Just be yourself, whoever you are. That's the wisest thing to do if you're going to get involved with somebody. The thing is as well, you're starting off with somebody and the wisest thing then is to let them know exactly who you are right from the beginning. Because then you're not going to ever have to say, I'm not this person. Right? And also, if you're upfront right from the beginning, it means that they're more likely to be upfront right from the beginning as well. Because a lot of the time, people pretend to be something else, not because it's a bad thing. They're a bad person. They're trying to hide it, just because they're scared. They're scared that they won't be loved for who they are. And if you're watching this and you're going through to a plain process, the whole thing is you've got to love yourself first for exactly who you are. And believe you've got to also change your internal structure, your mind, to make sure that you believe that you are absolutely lovable however you are, right? It's like you have to change the way that you even think about yourself in terms of what you're going to get, right, love-wise. And it's like staying on course. They're saying it's like if you stay on that course, so you're loving yourself no matter what. I mean, there's so much they're saying. They're saying like you could, you go down a road with somebody and it could be at some point then you want to disagree with them about something because you don't want to do something, or you would prefer to have potatoes instead of spaghetti. But instead you're going to be stuck with spaghetti for dinner because you've always had spaghetti because they like spaghetti. And you prefer potatoes. So why didn't you at some point at the beginning say, yeah, spaghetti's all right, but I really like potatoes? It's it's that kind of thing, right? Just be yourself, basically. I'm going to get one more out on top of that, Aquarius. And also the thing is, Aquarius, because they're talking about your mind, go with the flow. They're saying go with the flow, right? You've got a really sharp mind. You've got a really agile mind. You've got a really probing mind. You've got a very, you can sometimes have what to other people seems like a very crazy mind, but it doesn't matter. I'm just using that word as a word that's because you've got like a lot of energy going on in your head, right? Because you're air, basically. So you're very thought-based. So it's like share your thoughts, basically. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts, right? And stay focused on you feeling good. Stay present moment based. Don't spiral outside of your present moment and start to worry about what you're saying and whether it's going to change things down the line, for example. Just stay present moment based, in a state of loving that present moment, loving yourself in the present moment, being who you are in the present moment, and let the rest of it, the future, take care of itself. All right? That's what going with the flow is, because if you stay like that in the present moment with yourself, you're only going to get good things following that. Get one present moment being good to the next present moment being good, and on and on and on. So that's what they're saying for Aquarius. Okay, and I do feel by Christmas some of you are going to be hearing from who this other person is. Okay, next. Who we're looking at next? Aquarius, and then we've got Gemini. Okay, Gemini. Oh, it feels like it's going to be a fun month for Gemini. Brain, Queen of Swords, that's about your brain, your thinking, anything that goes on in your brain. Three of Cups, oh look, yes, joy, happiness and joy, Three of Cups, celebrations. Maybe you're putting together a celebration. Maybe you're getting ready to have a party. Maybe you're thinking up ideas for Christmas, this kind of stuff, and how to celebrate the season. I feel like you're going to be in your element somehow. Maybe some of you got people coming to visit, coming over, that kind of thing. Six of Cups, happy reunions in Six of Cups. It can be twin flame reunion as well, but not always. But it's about people coming together again and celebrating and enjoying themselves. Some of you might be having a twin flame reunion, who knows? Let's look at one more card. Two of Swords, which is a balance of between mind and heart, right? So it's advice there, because here is your brain. What they're saying is not to get tied up too heavily, right, inside your head with things, and to remember to stay loose and let things revolve around your vibration, basically, because you can use your mind for what is useful for, because maybe you are creating celebrations, that kind of thing, maybe organising things, putting it together, but don't get all worked up and stressed about things. Remember that things will take care of themselves pretty much if you feel all right. Also, importantly, something here, right, is saying that something might not go right. Maybe there's an event here, this party, whatever, and something that you want, because this woman is really like precise. And she likes everything to be precisely how it is, and maybe that's how you're feeling about what's coming, and maybe that's how you're feeling about Christmas. However, you're not in control, really, right? Nobody's ego is really in control. It feels like something maybe is meant to go awry or meant to not work out. Not all of it. It doesn't feel like a whole thing going, to pot or whatever. Just maybe one element of what you're creating here is not going to work out as you planned it, or you visualized, or you viewed it. Not visualized, because if you visualize it would work out. Maybe not work out how you viewed it working out, but I do feel it might be just the one element. So, and you've got to accept that, basically. There's some acceptance here that you have to accept that things are how they're meant to be, right? And carry on feeling good no matter what. Because some things aren't, some things don't show up in your life. Some, like maybe a person or a situation or an event doesn't turn out exactly how you wanted it. But it's meant to be like that. It's always meant to be. Right, sometimes the lesson is just that you've got to accept that things are not fully under control through ego and learn to love whatever it is that you've got, right? Sometimes it is simply more than that, because we're all on a journey here to get to specific places, have specific people turn up, go through specific events, and sometimes the only way for your guidance to get you to that place is to have something change, even though you might have wanted it to happen, because it's not meant to happen, because if it did happen, you wouldn't be then getting to the place that your guidance wants you to get to, which might be somewhere different. And when I say place, I mean a place like, it could mean, for example, just for an example, right? This is a really far-fetched one, right? This is just what pops up. It could be, it's really crazy. You lose all the knives. You can't find all your knives in the kitchen drawers, right? And they all go missing, and you're like, you're having a party and loads of people come around for dinner, and you've got no knives. So what they're going to do, they're all going to have to eat with forks, right? But you don't know when this happens. The reason that you lost all the knives is because one of the knives was going to fall out of the dishwasher later on and land on your foot and hurt your foot or something, right? Things like that will change in your physical environment because, yes, for preventative measures. So, always look at whatever comes into your life as a gift, basically, because it's always going somewhere better. It's always leading to something good, something that you want, something that's a nice thing, something that's a good thing, right? If you love whatever it is that happens, and laugh about it. I feel like some of you, actually, what might be happening is that maybe one person's not going to make it, to your dinner or whatever it is. You might have a guest that cancels or can't make it or something like that. Anyway, next one, we're looking at Libra. So Libra, what do you need to know about December? Sun, good. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune, timing. Four of Wands, which is a steady and solid vibration, a vibration of accuracy, basically, which is also talking there about, well, what comes from a vibration of accuracy, timing-wise, is everything that you want. Basically, it all starts showing up in different ways. Let's get one more out. Strength, masculine over feminine. So it feels like, yeah, good, strength, right? All this orangeness, all this like really good energy this month. It feels like you're in a really good place. Vibrationally, emotionally, this is strength, right? This is the 4 Wands, 4 feet on the ground, all the elements, feeling good. So it feels like you are in the place you need to be vibrationally, basically, for things to start showing up. It does feel, Libra, like you've got a completely open door on what that could be. So it's just like opening the doors, basically, to what it is that's going to show up for you. The thing is, right, when these good things start showing up because you're feeling good, your vibration is steady and solid. And it's in response to how it feels inside of you, this feeling of strength, right? Which is perfectly balanced, the 8 in the strength card as well. A perfectly balanced 0 point of the masculine and feminine energy inside of you. So that's also good on that, right? What maybe you've achieved. Opportunities arising from that, which could be anything, basically. Good things coming. Offers of jobs for some people, love for others, praise, acknowledgement from people, all this kind of stuff. Offers of places to move and loads of stuff. Timing, it's going to be different for everyone because everyone's got a different destiny that's just about to arrive. It's not all the same for everybody else, which is why it feels like an open door. So literally the door opening, and it's not like, I don't feel you're walking through it. I feel like it's opening and things are coming towards you. So it's looking like loads of people coming through doors, like massive doors opening, like in the King Kong movie, and all these people coming through. Someone different for everybody, for every Libra that's out there, right? With an offer of whatever it is that every Libra out there has ever wanted. Let's get one more out in the middle and see. Yeah, look, Magician, manifestation. Also 4 in this card, and it is a 1, but that's because it's manifesting. But it's got the 4 elements as well, so it's still about what it takes to manifest, basically. Having all your ducks in a row, having everything in alignment. Just feeling good. It's feeling clarity of purpose, clarity of mind, clarity of emotion. It's not being bothered by things that you were ever once bothered by. It's not feeling fractious or anxious or worried or stressed. It's just feeling great, feeling positive. It's feeling physically strong as well. Maybe this month you're going to be feeling really physically strong, Libra, and just a calm sense inside yourself of feeling like ready for big things. That's how it feels. Ready for your destiny, basically, which is what the Wheel of Fortune would say. Okay, so that's it for the air signs. And if anybody wants to get a reading, I've got a website. All the details are in the description box below, and you can go to the website and read about it, and then you can book from there. Thank you very much. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.